My mother died and left her engagement ring to me. She had worn it for 50 years. It was the only piece of her I had left that was truly precious. Then my brother came to visit. 3 days later, the ring was gone. Months later, I saw him on social media. He was posting vacation photos from a luxury resort. I did some research. The ring had been sold for exactly $30,000, the exact amount he had spent on his honeymoon. My name is Margaret, and I am 32 years old. I live in Chicago, where I work as a corporate lawyer. My brother David is 35 and lives in Los Angeles, where he works in entertainment. We have never been particularly close, but we have always had a normal sibling relationship. Our mother was the glue that held our family together. She passed away 3 years ago from cancer. It was sudden and devastating. 1 year she was fine, and the next year she was gone. Before she died, she made it clear what she wanted to happen with her possessions. She had a will drawn up by a lawyer. In the will, she left specific items to specific people. To David, she left her collection of her husband's photograph albums. To me, she left her engagement ring. That ring meant everything to her. My father had proposed with it 50 years ago. She wore it every single day of her married life. Even after my father passed away 15 years ago, she never took it off. It was not just jewelry. It was a symbol of her love, her commitment, her life. When she left it to me, she took my hand and said, "This is yours now, Margaret. Take care of it. Keep the memories safe." "I promise I will, Mom," I told her. After she died, I had the ring professionally cleaned and appraised. It is a beautiful antique diamond in a platinum setting. The appraisal came back at $30,000. It was not just valuable financially. It was priceless emotionally. I kept it in a safe deposit box at my bank most of the time, but occasionally I would take it out just to look at it, to feel connected to my mother, to remember her. 3 years after my mother died, my brother got engaged. His name is Marcus. Nice enough guy. I did not know him well, but David seemed happy. David and Marcus decided to get married quickly. They wanted a wedding within 6 months of getting engaged. They also wanted a luxury honeymoon, 3 weeks in Europe, first-class flights, 5-star hotels, the works. David called me one day and asked if I could help him pay for part of the honeymoon. He said Marcus wanted everything to be perfect, and the costs had gotten out of hand. I told him I did not have that kind of money to lend. I was doing well financially, but I was not in a position to give away thousands of dollars. He did not push it. He just said, "Okay, never mind. We can figure it out." The next time I saw David in person was at his wedding. It was a beautiful event. Everything was perfect. The ceremony was elegant. The reception was spectacular. Marcus looked happy. David looked happy. Everyone celebrated. Then they left for their honeymoon. Europe. 3 weeks. I saw the photos on social media. They looked like they were having the time of their lives. I was happy for David. I really was. But I was also a bit envious. I would have loved a honeymoon like that, but I was single and focused on my career. About a month after David returned from his honeymoon, I wanted to look at my mother ring again. I had been stressed about a big case at work, and looking at the ring always calmed me down, reminded me of what was important. I went to my bank and asked them to retrieve my safe deposit box. I opened it. The ring was gone. I froze. I looked everywhere in the box. I pulled out everything. I checked every corner. The ring was absolutely not there. I asked the bank employee if anyone else had accessed my box. She said, "Let me check our records." She came back a few minutes later looking confused. "It says here that someone accessed your box on April 15th. 2 months ago. I did not access it on April 15th, I said. "Who accessed it?" "It would have been listed under your name on the sign-out sheet," she said. "Let me get that for you." She brought me the sign-out sheet. It said Margaret Chen signed out the box on April 15th. "But I did not sign that out," I said. "I was not even in Chicago on April 15th. I was in Los Angeles for a conference." The employee looked very concerned. She said that is a serious matter. We need to review the security footage. We went back to the security office. They pulled up the footage from April 15th, and there on screen was my brother David, using my name, accessing my safe deposit box, removing my mother ring. My hands started shaking. David had stolen my mother ring. The bank offered to file a police report, but I said I needed to talk to David first. I needed to understand why he would do this. I called him immediately. "David," I said, my voice shaking, "when can you talk to me?" He could tell something was wrong. "What happened?" he asked. "We need to talk in person," I said. "It is important." We arranged to meet at a coffee shop near his apartment in Los Angeles. I flew out the next day. When I saw David, I was so angry I could barely look at him. "You stole Mom ring," I said, "from my safe deposit box, using my name." David did not even try to deny it. His expression changed. He looked caught, guilty, ashamed. "Why?" I demanded. "Why would you do that?" He was quiet for a long time. Then he said I needed money for the honeymoon. Marcus wanted everything to be perfect. The costs were astronomical. I did not have enough money saved. "So you stole my mother ring," I said. "You stole the only piece of her I had that was truly precious. And you sold it." "I did not know what else to do," he said. I panicked. "I knew you had the ring. I remembered you saying you kept it at your bank, and I just went and got it." "You used my name," I said. "You committed identity fraud. You committed theft. Do you understand how illegal that is?" "I know it was wrong," he said. "I am sorry, but it is done now. The ring is gone. We cannot change that." "We can change what happens next," I said. "You are going to face consequences for what you did." "Margaret, come on," he said. "I am your brother. We are family. This is not about money. This is about an object that belongs to the past. You need to move on." "Move on," I repeated. "David, that ring was the only thing I had left of Mom, the only thing that connected me to her. And you sold it to pay for a vacation. A vacation you can now afford because you stole from your own sister." I reported the theft to the police. David was arrested and charged with theft and identity fraud. The ring had been sold to a jewelry dealer who had resold it to a collector. The collector refused to return it. David was ordered to pay me restitution of $30,000 for the ring. He did not have that kind of money. He tried to get a loan but could not qualify. He tried to ask his friends for help, but they refused once they found out he had stolen from his own sister. The case went to trial. The judge heard all the evidence, the security footage, the bank records, the proof that David had used my name to access my safe deposit box. David was found guilty. He was sentenced to 6 months in jail and 3 years probation. He was also required to pay the $30,000 in restitution. David appealed the conviction, but it was upheld. He served his time. When he got out, he was a convicted felon. He lost his job in entertainment. Nobody wanted to hire someone with that kind of criminal record. Marcus stood by him through the trial and conviction, but David says the experience destroyed their marriage. Marcus blamed David for the theft and the legal consequences. They divorced a year later. So my brother went from being married to someone he loved to being divorced and unemployed and convicted of a crime, all because he stole my mother ring. Do I feel bad about that? No, not even a little bit. What he did was not a moment of weakness. It was not a mistake. It was a calculated decision to steal from his own sister to pay for a luxury vacation. He used identity fraud to do it. He had to have practiced my signature. He had to have known my PIN. He had to have planned this. That is not a mistake. That is a crime. People ask me if I think I was too harsh, if I regret pressing charges, if I wish I had just let it go. And the answer is always no, because my mother trusted me with that ring. She asked me to take care of it, to keep the memories safe. And my brother violated that trust. He violated her memory. He violated me. There had to be consequences. I have never spoken to David since his conviction. He tried to reach out once when he got out of prison. He sent me a letter saying he was sorry, that he wanted to make amends. I did not respond. There are some things you cannot come back from, some betrayals that are too deep, some violations of trust that cannot be repaired. My brother crossed that line when he stole my mother ring. I do not have the ring anymore. It is with a collector somewhere. But I have something more valuable than the physical ring. I have the knowledge that I stood up for myself, that I did not let my brother get away with what he did, that I protected my mother's memory by making sure there were consequences. The ring is gone. But her legacy lives on in the fact that I fought for what was right. My name is Margaret. I am 32 years old. My brother stole my mother's engagement ring to pay for his honeymoon. I reported him to the police. He was convicted and imprisoned, and I have no regrets. Some people say that family should come before justice, that you should protect your sibling no matter what they do. That blood is thicker than water. But I disagree. If you steal from your own family, if you betray trust, if you violate someone sacred, then you deserve to face consequences, even if that person is your sibling. My mother raised both of us to be better than that, to treat each other with respect, to value family bonds. David threw those values away when he stole that ring, and he paid the price. To anyone out there who has had a family member steal from them, who has experienced that kind of betrayal, who feels pressure to forgive and move on without justice, you do not have to forgive. You do not have to move on. You do not have to protect them. You can press charges. You can pursue justice. You can hold them accountable. And you should. Because family bonds can only survive when they are built on mutual respect and trust. When someone violates that trust, they are choosing to break the bond, not you. You are simply enforcing the consequences of their choice. David made his choice when he stole that ring. I made my choice when I reported him, and I have never looked back.